Hello and welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Shadow Empire on the map submitted by a member of the Reddit community. Once again, I'm still carrying out dog watching, so this is once again a picture of that dog. So that is Cindy. This time I'm taking a picture of her when she's outside, sort of loafing. This is maybe not the best of pictures. I zoomed in a lot to take this picture, and then I tried to get up closer and take it closer in, so I didn't have to be quite so zoomed in. And of course, she promptly gets up because I'm taking pictures of her. So I took another picture of the dog. I'm currently dog watching this dog, so the stream schedules for the next couple days while I'm dog watching might be a little unusual. But this is the dog. This is Cindy. We'll go ahead and put the image away. We get back to the game, back to the run. So this is the second stream of Shadow Empire we've done since started watching the dog. For the first day, I didn't have a dog picture ready. What I'll try to do is, I think at the beginning of every and in the beginning of every stream, I'll try to have a picture of the dog up. This is the beginning of a stream, obviously. I recorded a little bit ahead to account for the fact that we might have some streaming disruptions. And now that I've worked out that there shouldn't be any at this point, we're going to be recording slightly shorter recording sessions so that YouTube can catch up a bit. Ideally, I want YouTube to about 6 days ahead. Right now, if we would record a full 4-part stream, they'd be 8, I believe, in the case of Shadow Empire. We're going to record a 3. We're going to keep the extra one for in case something happens the day I stop dog watching. But yeah. So construction, just going to review. So we're going to ongoing construction. Victory score-wise, we're still in 8th with 1.6 victory score. We're not at any risk of losing yet because someone has to get 50%. So the person closest to winning still has to increase in size by 6 times. That's probably not happening anytime soon. And then what were we? We were doing fighting and probably need to afford to build some roads. Everything's going according to plan. Oh no, ammo factory. Okay. Why is the construction? Oh, the construction report's showing the ammo factory. Just the ammo factory. So when that's done, we shouldn't be worried about ammo. We might have a little bit of a problem with logistics. We may want to continue to seal the road, which is more industry. We need more road, so we can go up against the mutants. The roads going into the mountains will be expensive, although we can get a little bit of road up about this far before we have to go into mountains. To continue going south, we probably need to cross the mountains here. The robots are obviously in the mountains over here. And we do need to deal with the robots. And the slavers. And I think what's left of the danger we're facing is coming off of the slavers, specifically. So, as is the case, we usually stop at the end of a turn. So we should just be good to cycle the turn. So let's do that. Yeah. So I just showed a dog picture. We'll show it again at the end of the stream. And we're going to record 3 parts instead of the regular 4. It'll make it a little bit of a short stream, because it'll be 3 hours and a bit. Because I'm going to record 3-hour-long bits, and some break times between them. So if you're watching on YouTube, well, if you're watching on YouTube or Twitch at this point, you can probably go find the 2 previous streams for free call. Yeah, it was both for free call. We played the Spanish. If you want to see the other dog pictures I have shown off, they should be available at the beginning and end of those streams. So the easiest way to go if you're not actually interested in watching free colonization and Spain, you can go to the first episode. That will have the first dog picture, and then the last one, which I do understand probably won't be out for a couple days, But the last one will also have the last dog picture. I think it's also 8 episodes long, so you could go to the first and the fifth. Would work as well, because the first should be the first episode the dog pictures are shown in, and the fifth should be the second dog picture. The one I showed at the beginning of the stream today, and effectively the beginning of this episode if you're watching this on YouTube, is the third dog picture I've shown. Basically, I'm trying to take a new dog picture every day, of the dog being in different environments and doing different things. Yeah, sort of the way to pay the proverbial dog tax for talking about the fact that I am dog sitting. In the meantime here, I suppose we go over location, situation. We've got slavers to the east that we are officially at war with. I think at this point we've destroyed the vast majority of their vehicles, so it's mostly just slavers. Although the slavers still fight better than mutants. We got mutants in the north. Got a batch of slavers up here that we're reasonably peaceful with, although eventually we're going to want to deal with them. And then to the south, we've got a rogue AI, surviving AI. We don't know how big they are, because one of the changes in the most recent patch is that slavers and arachnids, I don't think, or not slavers, robots and arachnids, I don't think you can spy on anymore. We know we can't spy on the robots, because we can't spy on them. I'm not so sure about the arachnids. I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to spy on the arachnids. The RP for the robots is obviously the robots aren't going to not understand what the spies are. They're not that dumb. The arachnids will just straight up eat your spies, so that thematically from an RP standpoint makes sense. We do know we have a major down here, major to the south, so we probably want to deal with the robots sooner rather than later. Other than the fact that they've got a mountain range that they're dug into. To get closer to the AI so we can establish the line between us and them, closer to them, hopefully. To the north, zoom up here, this is another major. So there is an argument not to get bogged too much in going south, because we've got a major coming from the north, and we want to do the same thing with what we're doing south in the north. And it may just be easier to go north. Right, this is open plains up until about here. So this is sort of a mountain range. So we can run all the way, once we get to the mutants, that's all open terrain we can run across pretty quickly, pretty easily. Much easier than, say, pushing through the mountains, because we know this is a mountain range running down here. I don't know how deep the mountain goes, so it might be a thin mountain and we might be able to push over through it pretty easily. Or it might be a thick one and it might be a complete pain to get through. We've discovered the tech that lowers the terrain penalty on construction for building roads. But we haven't researched it, because it's quite expensive. And that's been other things we needed to prioritize. We picked up volcanic tapping. We picked up ammo factory. We picked up sealed roads. We haven't finished implementing sealed roads. Of course, the tech that lowers the terrain penalty probably would help make the sealed roads cheaper. We got enough forests in here that would pay itself back pretty quickly. Although, bureaucratic points versus industry points, right? So, they don't necessarily translate into each other very well. I suppose really it's an investment in bureaucracy is helping us save industry if we were to complete it. We probably want to pick up heavy industry so we can be converting rare earth metals and metal into machines. At least more efficiently. I think it takes it from the artisanal, which is 20 to 1, as in 20 metal, 20 rare earth, 20 industry to make one machine part, to 5 metal, 5 rare earth metal, a little bit of power, no industry, per part. It technically makes like 10 parts, at a time. So you're going to be paying something like, I think, 2.5 artisanal machine parts every turn to get like 10. Decent trade. Assuming you need machine parts. And you can turn the facility up and down. You don't need to run it at full 100%. You can do 25%, 50%, 70%, or 100%. So if you don't need 10 and can't afford 10, you can always turn it down and get like 5 or 2. It tends to round down, so assume you're going to get the lower result on the rounding. Is usually the best way to do it. But yeah, I think it's 10. 10 machine parts. Okay, a little bit of motion off of the robots. I think after the slavers, so that means we don't see anything from the slavers. The mutants probably aren't going to do anything. Or if they are, they're just going to be shuffling about a bit. Although, the mutants are better attacking it than defending, so they might attack. Although, they've never attacked, so they probably don't like their odds. And at this point, we've shown them enough, they're probably not in good standing anyway. But yeah, the mutants are... We've almost dealt with the mutants. Do with a little bit more road. That would help a lot. We might also have enough personnel to deploy another brigade, although that's more industry. A little short in industry. It's competing with the roads, competing with the troops. One of the reasons we are diverting some of it to make the ammo manufacturer is the ammo manufacturer, I think, makes 1,500 rounds a turn, which would have cost 150 industry a turn to make the equivalent using the artisanal. And much like the heavy industry being very effective at making machine parts, the ammo factory is very effective at making ammo from a resource conversion standpoint, so it's even improving the resource conversion. Should be coming back around on a turn. Probably of the stream, this is probably going to be the most chatty I am during an end turn, sadly. There isn't necessarily a lot to talk about. We're mostly waiting to see if things happen. And an interesting end turn is probably not good for us. It's not interesting. It's not a problem. Soul State, round 105. We have 2 decisions awaiting us. We finished the trimmer gun. Oh, that's the anti-tank gun. That makes sense. Yeah, focus on design. Yeah, the decision is, do we want it to design something specifically? Proficiency 1, or not proficiency, type. Type. So we could have it find flak guns, we can find it mechanized infantry, motorbike infantry, medium tanks, and APCs, bazookas. Tech-wise, we're in the process of Gauss, and we probably want to do infantry when we get Gauss. We get Gauss, we do Gauss combat armor infantry, that'll be a nice type upgrade, or model upgrade. Yeah, I think we'll wait for that. Of course, they took a road. That's not good. Okay. Took a road back, so that's going to fix itself. The main harm that did is we got no recycling. We got no food out of this hex. That'll fix itself next turn. Ammo factory complete. Let's finish sealing this road. And we'll seal the bridge here. And then we'll raise a light infantry brigade. What are we short on? Industry. Apparently it just costs... Wow. Almost costing 500 industry. A little bit more expensive than I was expecting. Although it is... Oh, it's 55 units, so that's going to be like 10 a unit. Okay, we'll just delay. We'll delay one more turn. We'll raise the infantry unit next turn. Well, the industry next turn. Probably have enough to replace the missing tank. Yeah. So you're a low mountain, you're... Well, it's a volcano, so it's a low mountain. Okay. So this is the vulnerable stack. Might just attack it. The vehicles.
Attack formation. Mission successful.
So the thing to worry about with these sort of attacks is the tanks are actually more vulnerable than the armored buggies. The armored buggies are actually running 50mm armor. So as we go into the detail here, we can actually see being attacked. Yeah, attacked with a mutant. So we're gonna get an 18% caliber modifier here. I think technically it's supposed to be at 20%. Just how the math works out on this page that it says 18. This is because we've got 25mm of thickness on our armor, and the mutants we're fighting have 20 to attack with. The recon, go in here and see if we can find the recon being attacked. Here we go. Here we've got a 50mm armored vehicle. 20 is 40% to 50. So it's a 60% malice, or should be a 60% malice. The math here is off by 10% for whatever reason. Yeah. So we can see that our armored buggies should actually be much more resistant to being exploded. Even though arguably they're weaker on the attack. So we can see all the firepower is coming out of the tanks, whereas the armored buggies are here mostly as a distraction, which they do pretty well. Okay, so we could follow that up, but then we wouldn't have anyone in the hex pair. And it's either the armored buggy or it's only the tank or the armored or tank doing the attack. So we'll just leave them as they are. We're trying to attrit down the militia forces or the mutant forces right now. We're also probably going to run a little low on ammo while we're waiting for the ammo factory to catch up. So, I think we just cycled the turn. We've secured our road again, so we should start getting rare earth in again. Is there any cards we want to play? Not any nation. I think we've already got free trade on both of them. Both the ones we know about. No, we do for the south, but we don't for the north. Let's grab free trade then. We have shared diplomat. We do. Foreign Affairs Counselor. Have shared diplomat to help you. Major free trade guys up north. There is a 17% chance we fail.
Roger that.
We did not hit the 17% chance. Although, that meant there was also a 43% chance we critically succeeded. We only got normal success. Do we have an embassy with the guy down south? Yeah. don't need to use the plea of friendship yet. We don't have any more ruins to do an archaeological expedition to. Do some revised IP to get some more industry going.
Order received.
Okay, 540 more is not bad. Got a 0 retirement and a bronze retirement. Is there any of the council members we don't want? So we've got one reserve pool member who is cap 5. We do have some cap 1s. Secretary's fine. We can leave the secretary as a cap 1. Commander of the first HHQ probably is someone we want to replace. Yeah, we could probably do better. Like, I suspect the immediate replacement wouldn't be much better. But would get better pretty quickly. What we could do, who's the advisor? Captain. I'm looking for. You're the advisor. You're a pretty bad advisor as well. Although we might want to keep you because of that covert ops. At least until we get a better covert ops. So what I'm going to do is we're going to call you up. We're going to attach you to... Where's HHQ? If we get another advisor, we might attach the new advisor. I think it's the number of cities that determines how many advisors you have. Okay, so let's cycle the turn. We know the ammo factory is going to come on board next turn. We might be a little bit short on ammo until it starts getting underway. So we should probably try to limit our offensives. Industry will come in, so we can work on more roads. We got the big one, which was the one out to the oil well done. Should have enough industry to deploy infantry formation next turn. Give us another 5 tags. Cover positions up north. Well, 6 if I don't mind putting the HQ on the front line. I do against the robots and the slavers in the east and the mutants in the north. I don't actually against the slavers in the northwest. That's why we've got the 2nd Infantry one over here. It's close enough to do its command duty, but it's not going to get attacked yet. Yeah, as I said, let's cycle the turn. Yeah, there's only 100 bullets to go out. Next turn, it should make 1,500. I'm not sure if they'll get delivered to SHQ next turn. Might technically get delivered to the local zone, and then we gotta wait one more turn for the SHQ. It'll be fine. Right now, we're not doing a lot of fighting unless we're initiating the fighting right now. And we're now vertically at the point where we can't actually get the whole country on the screen at once. again, the intern should, hopefully, be fairly boring. Although this will probably be the one pocket where we might see a little bit of motion. We have a little bit of reconnaissance on, well, we have open diplomatic contact with, so we have some reconnaissance on the major to the south, which is this commune. So we may see some motion from them. And same thing with the one to the north. See stuff from the one to the south, one to the north, and maybe some motion off the mutants, the slavers, and the robots. Most of the intern should be fairly boring because there's lots of regimes out there that we can't see anything about. Okay, so we didn't see any motion from the people to the south. Just go ahead and mute the mic until something else may be interesting happens here on the intern. So Davis Fort is the people to the north, we know. So we might see a little motion here. Although if we didn't see any to the south, we probably won't see any to the north. Recon on both of them should be about the same. Because I think our MTH recon contracts, I think, may have ended. That may have reduced the reconnaissance we have on people farther away from us. So that's the slavers. We saw a little bit of motion, which is why the screen jumped there. Is that the robots? It's not the robots, I forget which is which. Okay, and at this point we're not going to see anything else. I think most of the groups that we haven't seen move already, if they pop up with a title that we know, have been revealed by the recon contract. And we don't retain any reconnaissance on them at this point. We just know who they are when we get to their point in the turn order. Hello, Twitch chat. It's going reasonably well. Okay, I hope you enjoy the lurking. If you're interested in seeing a dog photo, I did take a picture of the dog that I am currently dog watching. So you can always... it is absurdly straight defensively. Yeah, the slavers are a bit prone to trying to sneak around behind us. But yeah, if you're interested in a dog photo, there should be one at the beginning in the stream of the dog I'm watching right now. You can always, I think, rewind back to that, take a look at it, and then come back to live pretty easily. Although it is about to come around to our turn. Okay, so here's the Colossal state. Round 106 turn, we have two decisions. Our investment, improvised IPs, those are good. We're not ready for those.
Yes, sir.
We are trying to go Merit, so we'll take the Commando.
Order acknowledged.
Okay, all the values are going in the green, so that's good. Can I raise the infantry here? Yes. And then the surplus industry we can put into roading. So we should get some movement going soon. Whoops. Didn't mean to put the road there, if it was going to be quite so expensive. Ah, because that's low mountain. Okay, so to go that way around, we're going to need to go through the mountains. Fair enough. Okay. Okay, so that should be enough logistics. Okay, the remaining offensive against the mutants, at least on the east side here. Okay, so the shortage of received ammo. But not necessarily a severe shortage of ammo, it's just didn't get much of what we shot. And that's because we only just made the ammo last turn. 1.9 thousand was made last turn out of the ammo factory. 1,875 to be precise, okay. The mic is a little on the low side today. Doesn't seem to be as far as OBS is concerned. Maybe I'm just not talking super loud.
Going in.
Or maybe the game audio is a little bit louder than
Mission
normal.
successful.
Not sure which. Okay, so that infantry will be able to move next turn. Could be. You're being drowned out by the music, yeah. Maybe I can turn the music down a bit. See how that works. And then we got two cards we want to use. Private investment and improvised IP.
Order received. Order received.
Okay. So let's cycle the turn. We'll see our stockpiles fill up again. I do want to pave some more of these roads, as well as extend the roads. It's one reason why we're kind of stuck where we are at the moment, especially down here against the slavers, is the road obviously stops here. If you go any farther, we run off the top of the logistics line. But yeah, I think we got enough to handle most of the mutants. With the new troops in, once we deal with the mutants, we can swing it to take the bulk mine here, which is 100 colonists. So let's cycle the turn, let's see what goes on. Okay. Didn't see any motion from the one from the south. That's the one to the north when it comes to the majors. We're not really seeing any motion from them either, which just means we don't have the reconnaissance right now. Okay, that's the slavers. See a little bit of motion. Things end them up. Might be the mutants. Is it there? Forgot to check between turns. Okay, should be shortly coming back up on our turn. Okay, there we are. Bottom around 107, we have 4 decisions awaiting us. Did get to merit to where we promised, that's good. Researched heavy industry, private investments available again, and a zoo project.
Sir, yes, sir.
Ooh. If I needed more petrol, deep core would be tempting. Although we've got a petrol well, so we're not too concerned about that. Probably want to grab hydroponics for going towards advanced chemistry. Yeah, that'll give me the 4th one I needed in chemistry. Sorry, little war soil. And we probably want like hydroponics and water purification. So that probably wants to be our water one because we're on a planet with surface lakes. Water soil is what you do on planets where there is no surface water usually. Hydroponics.
Order received.
Being praised. We'll take the mind. Yeah, and we'll send the big delegation so we... Because we don't mind grabbing extra mind. Not super happy with the enforcement, but it is what it is. New commander for the 15th. I don't want to deploy our Camp 5 here. Although, this wouldn't be the worst place for the Camp 5 to be. until we get the governorship I was going to put him in. Although, he might die if I give him this job. So let's run a strat card, get us a... Military would be the best. There's a military.
Sir, yes, sir.
Merc would be a decent fallback. There we go. We got someone... Camp 4... Got pretty good high commands, got good infantry tactics, defensive tactics. Okay. You're too good for that job. I've got a perfect job for you. Cabinet... SHQ commander? So you... Okay, you've from just being the commander for the entire game has gotten quite decent at it. We're gonna call you up. Relieve you from duty. We're gonna give you another job.
Wilco.
Okay. So that is you. You're gonna get this field command.
Wilco.
In the next turn, it will ask me who I want to replace him with, and we're going to give it to this Camp 4. High Command, obviously. The Supreme HQ is High Command, Operational Command. Already reinvested in those. 41's much better than the previous ones. Got 4 capacity for learning, so they're going to learn what they don't have, notably trade. So our trade's going to be a little bit bad initially here, but this person will definitely get better and will end up better in the long run. Get better pretty quickly. Start marching the 5th out. In the meantime, I want to make sure that road does stay under control, so we're going to hit the 2nd HQ. Actually function as the holder of the tile. Do more probing attacks with the armored vehicles. Yeah, ammo's looking good. We got another investment and the zoo project. Let's those down. Nope, we've actually hit max on the zoo. Okay. Well, whenever we set up a colony, we'll be happy to have those zoo cards. Heavy industry next, although it's 5 tactic parts, isn't it? Yes, okay. So we need to get some of those. By 3 this turn.
Yes, sir.
And we need 5. Okay, so we're not going to start construction because we can't physically afford the thing yet. We probably will be able next turn. Petrol's a decent price. Let's sell the petrol. So like 3 turns of petrol for 2k.
Yes, sir.
Oh, and obviously we're going to be building the heavy industry. Initially it costs a lot of industry, or a lot of machine parts to make the machine parts. So this will need, oh, it's 4 turns, not 5 turns. So we need 4 of them. We got 3 of them. We need 20 machines. So let's start making some machines. Make like 5 a turn.
Roger that.
We may have to buy a couple. that shouldn't be too bad. Just 6 lines. So let's cycle the turn. So I'll go ahead. A little bit worried the sound, or the music's still drowning me out a bit. Drop the music another 10%. I did a validation of the game files today, which may have reset my sound settings. I think it may have happened. And then looking at where we are on the time, probably coming up at the end of this end turn is we're going to put the first part break in for YouTube. I'm going to take 3 minutes or so between parts here. Probably to check up on the dog. Maybe try to encourage the dog to go outside and do the bathroom outside. But then I'll be back to record 2 more recordings for tonight, so we're going to record about 2 more hours. So, obviously if you're watching YouTube, there'll be an hour tomorrow, and then an hour the day after tomorrow. As I brought up at the beginning of this part, we are recorded a little bit ahead at the moment, due to being a little bit worried about having streaming issues, because I'm actually recording from a different location while I'm watching the dog sitting. But those concerns did not actually pan out, but the good old prepare for the worst and then hope for the best did basically occur. So, got some extra recordings. So instead of recording 4 tonight, I think it's slightly early night, record 3. That'll let YouTube catch up by another part. We'll keep the last spare on Shadow Empire for when I gotta move the setup back. Because when I'm done dog sitting, I'm gonna move the setup back to where it was. Although, while I am dog sitting, I'll try to have a dog photo up at the beginning and the end of each stream. So, YouTube, you're gonna get it. Well, YouTube, you had at the beginning of this part. And then not tomorrow's part, but the tomorrow after that one, you'll have the same image again at the end of that part. And yeah, we're just watching this end turn here. This new brigade is going to come up. It's going to be responsible for watching the left side, as well as probably trying to get these 2 sides joined up, so we can sort of sweep left to right. Because again, right now, as far as the slavers to the west are concerned, they're really friendly with us. So they're not likely to try to take hexes off of us, although we've had the occasional oops where they have taken hexes. Early in the bit they did take a couple down here, which caused problems. Specifically, they took that one. This is our port, and our salvaging facility. That's where all our rare metals are coming from. That's where the food that gives us a third food surplus is coming from. But yeah, looks like we have 1 tag over there. I think the rest are in the western side of this mutant area. So when it comes to the minor regimes, they can only take territory from major regimes. They can't take from other minor ones. So they can't fall back in this situation. So they can't take off the slavers on either side. Can't take off the non-aligned behind them. So our goal is to wipe out the mutants, because we can decisively wipe them out. I think we've got the numbers and the strength at this point. Then the non-aligned to the north, we can probably safely hold a loose picket on. And arguably, other than where we've got road running right along the border, we could probably do the same with the slavers to the west. Yeah. We're going to want to wipe them out eventually. But let's fight the guys who are actively trying to take our territory. Who are the ones who are kind of passive at this point. Alright, we're officially at war with the Regents and the slavers. So the goal here is kind of sweep left and down, or sort of clockwise. Clockwise through the mutants, down the slavers, into the robots at the bottom is, I think, the plan here. So we just need enough industry to support the roads, to support that maneuver. And as we do that, we're going to need a thinner and thinner picket, right? Because the non-aligned up here, yeah, they're not aligned. There might be militia and stuff up there. The random space emu or buffalo or whatever. But that is going to be the odd unit here and there versus the slavers where they're actively hostile to us. So if there's any hole in the line, they'll go zipping right through it. And as we free up units, we can take them over more territory. As we take over more territory, we're more likely to get access to new resources. We'd be very happy if we found another source of rare earth metal, because the salvaging is not going to last forever. We're not likely to find any in the slavers, but some free folk would be nice. So we get some population growth. And of course, even though we're technically in... Well, we're not last, because 3 of the AI have already died. Out of 11, there's like 8 of us left. Technically last, we're technically 8th of those 8. We're not last in population. We're actually last due to our lack of land. So we need to take land if we want to get out of 8th. We'd like population too. I think we're like 7th in population. Should be coming up with us soon. Okay. So we're up over a little over an hour here. So this is where we're going to put the part break in for YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, we'll be picking up next time at the bottom of round 108, where we have 2 decisions awaiting us. If you're watching on Twitch, once again, I'm going to take a short break to check up on the dog. I'll try to get the ads out of the way for, well, the next batch of ads out of the way. While I do that checkup. So with that, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part. And bye for now.